Well, here we are. We are officially the first Chelsea manager to make it to a 4th season in charge since Jose Mourinho's first spell, and we know how his 4th season went. So let's hope for a better outcome, shall we? After last year's success, I want more of the same, and also hopefully to at least make the Champions League final. Can this squad pull another great season out of the bag? Ruben Loftus-Cheek had a very average year at Newcastle, but they both decided they want to extend the loan, so good luck to him. Billy Gilmour had an incredible time at Union Berlin though, and actually won the Bundesliga Newcomer of the Year, so we'll let him go there again, as I have no real use for him right now. Probably should have asked for some money this time though. Marcus Bettinelli's contract is up, and he wanted to become a goalkeeping coach despite being absolutely awful at it, so it was time for him to leave. Todd Cantwell also leaves on a free to join Hanover, having never played a single second of football for us. Great signing. And speaking of great signings, Sean Longstaff has actually played some football for us, but deserves actual regular game time, so we loan him to West Brom. Leon King is finally club trained after 3 years, and to celebrate we loan him out to Portsmouth to actually get to play. Jeremy Boger's annual loan pilgrimage continues as well. He's now off to Lisbon. Faustino Aneurin just doesn't really fit into my plans and likely never will, so we sell him to Benfica for 17.25 million and wish him well. Bayern Munich, who won the Champions League again last season, come in for Kai Havertz. Even though their bid gets very, very high, we obviously say no, and after a brief chat with Mason Mount, he raises no objections. But we do sell them someone. Yes, the time is now, no real fanfare, Timo Werner has gone. Now, there are several reasons for this. Obviously, his frequent capitulations in front of goal in times of greatest need are a big factor, but also his agent has fallen victim to the FM22 role or position lock moron disease, and he only has 1 year left on his contract. So for £49 million, which is actually a profit, I think we've done as well as we're ever likely to. Yes, he did score some important goals on occasion, and yes, he was actually quite prolific for a substitute striker, but the time feels right, especially as we do have the perfect replacement. In terms of regen signings, well, Temulo Makua from Mamelodi Sundowns looks absolutely incredible. He fails to get a work permit though, which is a big problem as it means he won't get club trained status. I tried for a half-year loan, but no one bites. He literally has 2 caps for South Africa. I really don't know why he hasn't got one, especially as we then sign Ranko Bozovic from Red Star, who gets one for some reason. Oh well. On deadline day, we finally managed to persuade Utrecht to take him until January, which should hopefully solve the problem. Robert Machula's move from Dortmund is also confirmed. Enjoy the under-23s. To replace Bettinelli, we were able to snap up Freddie Woodman on a free transfer from Birmingham. He's pretty good. He might actually end up usurping Kepa. And then it's time to bring someone home. We have to empty the coffers a bit, but I'm happy to do it. Tammy Abraham rejoins from Roma for his buyback clause of £68 million. Man City were sniffing around and we couldn't have allowed that. I did actually do this before selling Werner, which wasn't looking very likely at one stage, so it's not as much of an outlay with that fee in mind. And ultimately, who cares, because he's the perfect cover and then eventual replacement for Lukaku. A star across the board. And that's your lot. Also, for all you fans of Emerson out there, he's staying here as the designated backup left back this season. Now, in terms of other summer developments, the board have again agreed to expand the capacity of Stamford Bridge. Last time we ended with the council rejecting it, so let's hope this time it's a better proposal. We really need to expand because we basically get a full house every week. Also, despite what they literally said last time, the board now want us to challenge for the title again, so thanks. At the Euros, Spain emerged victorious against Norway in the final, which means we do have a winner in the form of Kepa, who I'm sure helped out a lot from the bench. England reached the semi-finals, which allowed Marco Silva to keep his job. And Adam Holzek and Francisco Conchal both make it to 3 years at the club and thus become club trained, which is great. And we've also made it into favoured personnel alongside Chilwell, Mount, James and Havertz. Lukaku's made it to icon, which is fair enough, alongside Antonio Rudiger for some reason. I guess refusing to sign a new contract and leaving on a free makes you an icon these days. We kick off against Manchester City in the Community Shield. Hakim Ziyech's performances last season dipped a bit and he's not getting any younger, so I'm going to give the chance to Callum Hudson-Odoi as the starter from the off. City did of course ruin our hopes of a treble last year, so let's get us some revenge. It's a pretty even game with decent chances for both sides, but a nice move sees Tammy Abraham on his re-debut set up Mason Mount to fire home a goal made in Cobham. But some typically slack defending allows Phil Foden to equalise in the 90th minute. So it goes to penalties once again, but remarkably we score. De Bruyne doesn't, and then as Mendy saves from Grealish, Hakim Ziyech just dispatches his to give us the win, which is always a nice way to start the season, hopefully the first trophy of many. Although as it went to penalties, the game seems to be a bit confused. For the first time, the media actually have made us favourites for the title, although Man City still apparently have over half of the best 11 of players. Our Premier League campaign starts away at Aston Villa, and it's good to see Hudson-Odoi justifying his selection with the first goal. Christensen scores as well, and then Hudson-Odoi gets another, albeit at the wrong end, and we hold on for a solid opening win. We then beat newly promoted Cardiff 4-0 in a supremely dominant display. Extremely early days, but we're already top with Liverpool and City both dropping points. Our Champions League group is okay, I guess. Could still have done without Real Madrid. We always seem to get at least one other really good team. And then we end the month with a simple 2-0 win over Bournemouth, which is at the Bobby Charlton Park for some reason. 3-3 for Lukaku so far, no sign of slowing down. They say old habits die hard, and I have the habit of winning Manager of the Month. The fact that this award is basically just calculated on how many wins you have is a bit lazy really, but I'm not complaining now. We're the favourites for the league and apparently the second favourites for the Champions League. We really need to win that one this time. After a great August, September starts and ends with some crucial games already with City and then Liverpool. At the bridge against City, well, it starts really well. Hudson-Odoi is excelling so far, and his whipped ball in allows Havertz to do what he did in the real Champions League final. Lukaku bags a penalty for 2, and then Ruben Dias gets sent off. Mbappe makes it 3 in a second, and although Sterling grabs a goal, it's only a consolation. An extremely important early win in our hunt for 3 titles in a row. But then we open our Champions League campaign away at Nice and it's a 0-0 draw with literally no highlights. I was hoping Tammy would score, but not yet. Spurs are next and it goes about as well for them as normal. Mount and Lukaku getting the job done, as they so often do. But the second 11 continue to flounder. An extremely wasteful display sees us crash out of the League Cup again against Brighton. I'm not devastated, but still. I suppose it means the first 11 are nice and rested for the trip to Anfield. We grab an early lead as Christensen powers home a header at the near post. Liverpool have lots of chances, Salah having a goal ruled out, and Van Dijk hitting the woodwork, but we stand firm and in the final few minutes a delightful lob finish from Christian Pulisic seals another essential win. We're top, we've got a 100% record, we've been here before. You know the drill by now, the honours section of my Wikipedia page is going to be an absolute mess by the end of this. The second 11 finally win a game and Tammy Abraham finally scores as we sweep aside Copenhagen 4-0. Lukaku's at the double as we see off Leicester, a win which sees us go 21 wins in a row in the league. And there's more great news as well as Chimuno Makua is granted a work permit, so thus should be fine when he returns in January. With multiple wing-based injuries, we survive a potential FMing scare against West Ham with 2 late Abraham goals giving us the win. Liverpool beat Man United, so this allows us to open up a 5-point lead. We dispatch Real Madrid with ease in the Champions League group stage, Gavi wrapping things up nicely. And then as Liverpool and both Manchester clubs can only draw, we put 3 more goals past Leeds to go 7 points clear. What I love most about winning Manager of the Month all the time is that it alternates between Roman and Marina putting out the same generic press release in praise of me. I really didn't expect to still be in the job at this point, never mind having been this successful. Also, our player development stats versus the rest of the league are absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we get a swift revenge against Brighton with a 4-2 win. Mbappe returns from injury with a brace. Most of the other main contenders drop points too, though we only stay 7 points clear, with Arsenal now the best of the rest. We see off Real again, 3-1 this time to go clear at the top of the group. Lukaku is now 13 for 13 so far this season. Stunning consistency. Goal only consider him the second best player in the world though, behind Erling Haaland. Mbappe comes 5th and Abraham and Havertz also make the top 50. Then the world's 5th best player gets a hat-trick as we get our customary thrashing of Burnley, 7-0 this time. No one really seems to want to actually challenge us for this title as Arsenal now lose to Liverpool and then draw, so we head to Southampton 9 points clear. We've had a few injuries recently, but the depth of this squad is really special. Everyone is over a 7 for average rating. Or I say all that, but an absolutely awful first 5 minutes against the Saints sees us have to claw our way back for a 2-2 draw. CH missed an open goal at point blank range in injury time as well as we drop points for the first time all season. Oh well, we still have an 8-point lead and it's time to celebrate my 200th game as a manager as we play Nice and we get a 3-0 win which wraps up the group. Everything's looking really good. And then we lose 3-0 to Everton. Everton. Absolutely unforgivable. The worst performance of the entire save probably out of nowhere. Gutless, cowardly, spineless. Kepa only playing as Mendy is injured, once again proving his utter worthlessness. A 43-game unbeaten streak in the bin. Lead down to 5 points when it could and should be 10. And that means we don't even get to make the Manager of the Month podium. I mean honestly. Mbappe wins Player of the Month though, and at least the youth facilities have been fixed. I'm hoping that was probably just a very minor blip, but we start the month with some tough games. Man United first, and thankfully Mendy is back fit for this one. After dragging them into training, I asked the players for a reaction and, well, they deliver. Livramento chips in Lukaku, who scores 5 minutes in before he doubles it with this excellent finish. Havertz heads home for 3 and then Abraham seals it. United's consolation means nothing, and quite clearly there we've bounced back. And what's more, Arsenal draw and Liverpool lose to Newcastle, so we end up with an 8-point lead again. And then we're able to tie this legend down for potentially the rest of his career. We then face Arsenal, who are certainly contenders this season. We go behind early on due to a defensive error as Smith Rowe scores, but Mbappe nets a tight angled finish to level things up. More sloppy defending gifts them the lead again though, but in the second half we come out and play like double champions. Havertz levels things up, Tomori grabs the lead with this rather random goal before Kante celebrates his new contract with his first of this season. And then to cap it all off, Tammy Abraham scores with his backside. Another great win, and everyone else is really just intent on not chasing us at all. Liverpool and City draw, so now United are in second, but our lead extends to 9 points. The final Champions League group match is a win, not quite maximum points this time, but still. Newcastle for once are not about to be relegated, but they are still no match for us, as an Mbappe masterclass destroys them 5-1. And then Man United draw, so we stretch our lead to 10 points. Our reward for winning our Champions League group is Barcelona, which seems bad, but then Madrid got Bayern Munich, so yay, I guess. We beat Norwich 2-0, and then Sheffield United, who have only achieved 3 points all season so far and look on for the earliest relegation ever, are crushed by a fully rotated side 4-0, including a Tammy Abraham hat-trick. And as Liverpool can only draw, our lead creeps up to 11. Because this game is absolutely ridiculous sometimes, Lukaku then starts to complain about his game time. I've rested him for 2 Premier League games, what are you moaning about? I suppose this is actually accurate given recent events. Clearly fearing for his future at the club, he grabs a hat-trick against Brentford in a 5-0 demolition job, and then another in the final game of the year against Aston Villa as we win 5-0 again. Not a bad way to end 2024, especially as Liverpool and Arsenal lose. It's hard to keep track of who exactly is meant to be chasing us or mounting any sort of title challenge at all. Lukaku wins the Ballon d'Or again, and the FIFA one, and Mendy wins a supremely deserved World Golden Glove. They both make the World Team of the Year along with Havertz. He might be having an illogical strop recently, but Lukaku currently has 21 goals out of 18 games in the Premier League so far, and is well clear at the top of the Golden Boot race. Shout out to Tammy Abraham as well, whose goals per minute is by far the best in the division. It's safe to say, as a team, we're rather good. We end the year on 55 points, 14 points clear, though Man United have a game in hand. We've actually conceded a similar amount of goals to all the teams behind us, but we are far outscoring everyone. It's been a standard great start to the season. The Premier League's looking good, the FA Cup is to come, we've got Millwall first, and our Champions League draw is okay, I guess. Can we make it a quadruple, or will there be a colossal collapse and we end up getting sacked? Brighton, who you may recall finished 5th last year and are currently in 10th, which I think is quite respectable, don't consider that enough as they've already sacked Andrea Pirlo, which seems harsh, but it's a funny old game. Anything can happen. I'll see you next time.